following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. Welcome in a Thursday edition of Main Street Sports Today. As we roll through the week here in mid-July, we've got on the program today newly acquired Lawrence County baseball coach and former Atlanta Brave organization minor leaguer, if you will, Clint Wright will be joining us with his maybe his first media visit as the new old ball coach in the dugout down in Lawrenceburg. Cumberland University Athletic Director Ron PAVAN will be joining us as well. Back-to-back college ADs, guys. Not bad here this week. Daily Braves chatter, of course, as always. College football. We'll talk college football every day from now until at least January. As our friend George Plaster says, book it. You can book it. So that and so much more. It is a Thursday edition of Main Street Sports Today. It is presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. And once again, in a shade of blue, the Hall of Famer and Sports Writer of the Year, Mo Patton on your left. On your right, a lighter shade of blue, the Sundrop Kid of Alabama, Chris Yao. It is Blue Thursday as I'm joining in on the party. Gentlemen, welcome in. Happy Thursday.
If there is a shade of blue, we are wearing
We got it.
We're all three wearing navy pants. Nobody can see that, but we are all three wearing navy pants.
Trust us on that one.
Or navy bottoms, as I referenced yesterday.
As opposed to tops. Yeah.
Clearly, we should have done this on Monday.
Blue Monday?
Blue Monday.
Blue Monday.
I mean, something. But hey, it is what it is. I'm excited because it's going to be a great show. Thursday is always a fun time because it's just on the edge of the weekend, and we have so much to get done before we leave on Monday morning at like 6 in the morning, maybe 5 in the morning. I don't know. It's going to be early. Whatever time we leave, it's going to be early. That's all I'm saying.
You keep going earlier and earlier.
What do you care?
I don't.
You're going to have a wake up call.
That's true.
Charlie.
That's true. Is breakfast going to be involved in this?
Breakfast will be involved, but we may have to end up getting it on the road.
That'll be fine. That'll be fine.
Oh, man. Thank you guys for hanging out with us as we are, again, getting ready for this great Thursday show. JP told you we have two phenomenal guests, and we've got a lot to get into, so let's go ahead and do just that. If you are new to the show, and maybe you just started listening because you're a fan of George Plaster and you didn't know we existed until now, let me tell you a little bit about Main Street Sports Today. We try to give a voice to those who don't get as much love in sports talk. So one of those teams that we do, as if you joined us yesterday, Jacksonville State. I mean, obviously that doesn't make a whole lot of sense except that Greg cites us from Waynesboro. Mm-hmm. And today we'll stay in the former OVC member category. In our top story, the opening tip today comes from the association via the Association of Belmont University. Former Belmont hoop standout Evan Brads has a new gig, Mo.
Yeah. After spending the last, 4 or 5 years in the Boston Celtics organization, Evan Brads will be joining new Utah Jazz coach Will Hardy in Salt Lake City. Brads had been an assistant coach with Boston's G League affiliate, the Maine Red Claws, and later joined Brad Stevens' staff with the Celtics, and last year was their player enhancement coach, working on video analysis and specialized player skill development, and working alongside Will Hardy. They were both with Boston this past year as the Celtics went to the NBA Finals. So, new gig for Evan Brads out in Utah. Pretty meteoric climb for him. Two-time All-American, All-American, two-time OVC Player of the Year.
6th all time in the NCAA Division I field goal percentage.
And Belmont's scoring leader with 1,921 points. So just 79 points short of 2,000. Pretty solid. What are we doing?
In the world. We got things just flying all over.
Popping off, literally. It's popping off in here.
It is popping off in here.
So yeah, Evan Bratz.
It's interesting because, you obviously you feel like a guy who's 6th all time in scoring percentage and Belmont's all time leader in points, and you feel like somebody like that could play at the next level. That just goes to show how difficult it really is to get to the National Basketball Association.
Well, when it's easier to get there as a coach than it is as a player, I mean, I don't know, but yeah. So what is this kid? He's what?
Really a cerebral prospect.
27, 28,
if that.
Yeah.
Clearly
already in the coaching.
He graduated in 17 and immediately went to the G League as an assistant on that staff with the Red Claws.
He's definitely put in his dues. I mean, the Red Claws in Maine.
Makes a lot of sense, because I guess Maine has really good crab. I would assume, or lobster.
I don't know if those
lobster,
are
not crab. Baltimore is crab.
Yeah,
Maine is lobster.
And Maine is lobster.
Yeah, there's no R.
Yeah,
we don't have R's up there in the Northeast.
Yeah. So,
well, congratulations to him. Looking forward to seeing what he can do with the Jazz, but also hoping that the Jazz
and everyone else in the West
comes
up short.
Come up a little short. That's exactly what we're hoping.
Yeah.
But if he does, hey, at least we have something else to talk about local. Let's send it to JP over in the corner. What do you say? Because we've got a few things. A pretty decent little schedule today. If you're looking for sports on TV tonight, JP, you've got a little bit of you've got some options. So tell us what happened yesterday, and then give us tonight's schedule on the rundown.
This is the rundown.
All right, our Thursday rundown brought to you by Insert Your Business Here. We have space available. Looking at scores from yesterday in Major League Baseball, the Mets down the Braves 7-3 in that rubber match. Critical series down in Atlanta. The Yankees over the Reds 7-6. Dodgers 7-6, also winners over the Cardinals. The Orioles also with a 7 spot.
7's wild.
Yep. 7-1 over the Cubs, and the Twins 4-1 over the Brewers. In minor league baseball, the Sounds last night fall to Memphis 3-2, back-to-back close games, and maybe 3-2 games.
They're on a 3-game skid after opening 8-0 in the month of July.
Yeah, hot start in July with the temperature, but they're cooling off. Maybe the temperature will follow. We've got Thursday's schedule. MLS last night. Nashville did get a win at home versus Seattle, shutting them out 1-0. The final, the full-time in that soccer match. Full-time, FT. Thursday's schedule. The Braves of the Nationals start their series tonight, 6:05, Valley Sports South. Reds of the Yankees also 6:05. At 6:15, Dodgers of the Cardinals, Mets of the Cubs at 7. And the Brewers of the Giants, 9:15 tonight out on the left coast. The Sounds continue their series with Memphis from First Horizon, 7:05, first pitch. CFL tonight, it is Montreal hosting Edmonton, 6:30. You can watch it on the Deuce. That's ESPN2.
The Alouette fans in South Pittsburgh will be in force watching that one on the Deuce.
Yeah, they'll look back at the ratings. Why in South Pittsburgh is there a spike?
Chattanooga seems to really like this game.
Canadian football? Yeah, they are a little wacky down there in Chattanooga. NBA Summer League action, Atlanta and San Antonio this afternoon. Should be tipping off any moment out in Las Vegas. That is on ESPN2. NBA TV around 2:30. We'll see Memphis and Boston. And then at 4 o'clock, Chicago taking on the Charlotte Hornets. Not to be confused with the Bobcats. No one ever does that No one ever confuses them with the Bobcats.
No,
Not
no,
anymore.
it's a whole other thing.
If I didn't have gear and swag with Bobcats on it, no one would ever know they existed.
That's probably true.
Yeah. World Cup qualifier, CONCACAF women's semifinals on Paramount Plus tonight. USA and Costa Rica, 6 o'clock. You can watch that. USA women as they look to continue their, I guess you could call it dominance on the world stage of women's
been so
soccer.
far.
Yeah, absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, that is your Thursday rundown here on Main Street Sports today. Back to you.
All right. I'm excited. We get to talk to a guy I've been following on Twitter for a long time, and kind of watched him move from south to north. And I guess he's just continuing that move and finally stopped in Lawrenceburg. So we'll talk to CLINT WRIGHT as we come back here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. So you guys stick around with us. We'll be right back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Coming up later in the program, Ron Pavan, Cumberland University Athletic Director, will be joining us. Also, our daily Braves chatter. Might get a Braves conversation with our next guest, so stay tuned. Coming up as Coach's Corner is just around the corner. And a lot more to get to today on this Thursday edition of Main Street Sports Today. Back over to the Hall of Famer and Sundrop Kid from Alabama. Here's Mo and Chris.
Can you have a corner around the corner? I guess you can if you're in that corner. There is, in fact, a corner around the corner on that over there.
There are a lot of corners around the corner in this room.
There really are.
So there you have it.
I guess that.
And there you are.
Yeah, I mean, we did put Peyton in the corner back there.
We did.
Bear has a little more
We've
room.
also
behind.
kind of got Davey Allison in the corner back
Yeah.
here.
You can see the top of his head. Old Davey. You get a little bit of Davey back there. Man, what a treat we have coming up for you guys. And when we talk, again, if you're new here, we really try to put a lot of emphasis on our tagline from preps to pros, because we really are trying to get you all of the local sports talk that you can get from preps all the way up to the professional ranks. And we want to talk high school sports when we get a chance. We get to talk a little bit of both probably in this next segment as we welcome in brand new head coach in Lawrence County High School, CLINT Wright. Clint, what's going on, man?
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Doing well, Clint. Appreciate you taking some time with us this afternoon. Congratulations again on the new gig. Former Loretto High School baseball standout taking over the dugout in Lawrenceburg.
Yes, sir.
Should be an interesting transition, I would think.
I think it's just a great opportunity. It's an opportunity for my family and I to be a little closer and 11 miles from the ballpark to my driveway. It's a welcome change.
After making that commute to Linville this past year as an assistant over at Richland. So, yeah, this will be closer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But we're excited to get going. We got tryouts. Tryouts will be tonight and tomorrow. Both nights will start at 6. It's actually what we're in the process of doing right now is trying to get the field in pretty good shape for these guys to come and see what they can do.
That's always fun because you've got a lot of guys that feel like they can play at the high school level, and clearly if you're having tryouts, not everybody's going to make it. So I would imagine as a coach, that's kind of a tough process, kind of telling the kid you need to go work on XYZ, XYZ 1, 2, 3, you know.
It's something I've never had to do before as a coach. It's not something I'm looking forward to, but it's just the nature of the beast. It's and I think me and you talked about this before. Everyone's baseball career has an end date. Some people it's later than others. And like I said, I mean, we may have sophomores and freshmen tonight that try out, and they may come back next year and be much improved and really can do something to benefit this program and help us moving forward. But like I said, without having eyes on anybody, it's a mystery to me going into tonight, and it's something we're pretty excited about because I think there's definitely talent here and a great group of kids too. You don't hear about trouble in the classroom. You don't hear about trouble in the community, and I think that's a testament to the parents and the way that they've been raised. It's a great group of kids.
And when you look at this district that you guys are in, Clint, District 8-3A, it's a bit of a meat grinder when you talk about, Spring Hill, Tullahoma, Lincoln County, some of the folks that you have to go out and play on a day-to-day basis. So you're looking for some really good ball players here over the next couple of days, obviously.
You are, and you're also in the back of your head. You got to remember that Tullahoma left Lawrence County High School 2-5 in the district last year, and we all know where they were in the middle of May. They made a run. They started playing good baseball at the right time, and that's the beautiful thing about this game is that there's plenty of teams out there that people write off as not being the most talented team. And I mean, look at your Atlanta Braves from last year. That's not the most talented team in Major League Baseball last year, and it's probably not close. And they were able to string together some good baseball at the right time and make a deep run and win a World Series. That's the thing. You got to just develop players and develop them in the short amount of time that you got them, and hope that they get things clicking at the right time.
Clint, you're coming in behind a guy, Brad White, who had some success both at Tullahoma, oddly enough, and at Lawrence County. You being a first-time head coach, how do you build on following a guy like that?
Well, I mean, obviously he cast a big shadow. He did some really great things here. I mean, I'm in the press box right now looking around at looking out over our baseball field right now, and it's a place where people want to play baseball. It's a great place. We got an indoor facility, new block walls around the bullpens, and Brad was responsible for that. This place was not not to this caliber when he got here. He absolutely left it better than he found it. And that's kind of, goal number one is just to continue to build on what he's got started and turn a corner. I mean, with this district, I mean, it's tough when you get to the region. We've got to get to a region and win 2 more ball games. It's 85 miles to Murfreesboro from this parking lot, and that's going to be what we kind of center our thoughts around. That's what the goal is. We got to find a way to get to Murfreesboro at some point. And I think that once you get there the first time, it's not a dream anymore. It's something that's a solid reality.
Speaking with Clint right here, Lawrence County High School baseball coach on Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe out in Chapel Hill. And Renee Hart and the fine folks out there keeping you fed. Anytime you are in Chapel Hill, make sure to go see Renee and the gang at From the Heart. Clint, to that point, one of the things that is kind of unique about Lawrence County High School, and, we've talked about it a lot on this show, JP can tell you, if there's one thing about Lawrence County High School, longevity with coaches has not been a problem. They have given coaches the ability to build programs and build through adversity. And
sure.
Is that something that is attractive about coming to Lawrence County High School as a brand new first-year coach?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, you've got an administration over here with Mr. Joyner and our athletic director, Matt Cower, who's 100% in our corner, and he's in the corner of every coach here at school. I think with a support staff like that behind you, as a first-year guy, I mean, I told him in my interview, I said, I'm going to make mistakes. I mean, I'm going to learn from them, and hopefully next time that situation comes up, we don't make that same mistake. And I guess their thoughts behind it is they understand. They understand that there's going to be some successes and some failures this year, and it's going to be a growing process for me personally in my coaching career. But having them and their support is going to be crucial as we get going into this.
Clint, you're a Loretto graduate, as we mentioned. You've seen that program's evolution here over the last 10, 15 years, I guess. You've watched Summertown on the other end of the county and what that program has been about for a long time. How does Lawrence County get on that same level or start approaching that level?
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm in the press box looking over. I can look across the center field wall over there at Bobby Brewer Park. That's where Cal Ripken and all these kids from age 4 to 12, 13 play. I mean, we've got to get in there. The kids need to be developing from, 10, 11, 12 years old. That way it's not just such a shock when they get here, moving to 60, 90. And on our end of it, this has got to be an appealing place to come play baseball and to come to school. Obviously with success in the northern part and the southern part of the county, baseball within the county is alive and well. You got to make this an appealing place for people to come play baseball and just alleviate the thoughts of, I could go to Loretta and compete for a state championship, or go to Summertown and compete for a state championship. We've got to get our name in the hat there as a place where kids coming out of the 8th grade can say, I can go to Lawrence County High School and compete for a state championship. But like I said, I think it's got to start at that Cal Ripken Park and a lot of these Dixie Youth and Little League parks around, letting them know that this is a desirable place to come play baseball.
I think that, you're exactly right. And that's one of the things that every new coach that we've talked to in the last few years in Murray County specifically, it starts in the youth programs. I mean, especially when Kit Hartsfield was hired at Mount Pleasant, that was the first thing that he talked about was we have to make sure that our youth programs are building up to playing at the high school level. And it's so important. And you guys do have a fantastic program in Lawrence County for your youth. So that makes a big difference. And, you know, as I mentioned before you came on the show, Clint, I kind of, you know, I've been following you on Twitter for a while. We've talked about your ascension back to Lawrence County. Started in the Shoals area a couple years ago at the coaching ranks, and then you obviously moved up and kept moving up, and now you've hit Lawrence County. What has the difference been like, you know, at each place preparing you for this role?
Well, I mean, I was fortunate enough to coach under some great people. Coach Cole Mitchell, Jason Moore, those guys at Lexington, they were awesome. They were great baseball minds, and being an assistant coach for a couple of different programs that gives you different outlooks on situations throughout the game. You take some of the stuff you like, you take, you know, some of the stuff you don't, you throw it out. But it's been great. And the people at Richland last year, it was a tough decision. I mean, a head coaching job at a school in county obviously doesn't seem like that should be a very, very tough decision. But the people at Richland were just different. You know, I mean, that the people at Richland, that's how people should strive to be. Those people were accepting of me when I first got there. They were, you know, just welcomed me with open arms. Anything I needed as far as help in the classroom, being a first-year teacher, and sports wise, coaching wise, whatever it was, there was always somebody there that would be willing to help you with that. And I've been fortunate enough to be surrounded by a ton of great people, and it's really not any different here at Lawrence County. I mean, there's people reaching out that want to be involved. They want to help. They want to, you know, they want something to be proud of. And this program is something that I think that we can get to a point where people in the community are excited and proud of Lawrence County baseball program.
So full disclosure, when Clint was initially announced as the new baseball coach at Lawrence County, Matt Calvert, his athletics director, put out a release announcing it and talking about his background and that kind of thing. And mentioned in the release was that he had coached at Lexington. Now,
you thought it was Tennessee.
I thought Lexington, Tennessee. I did not realize until about 2 minutes ago that was Lexington, Alabama. Fortunately, I did not mention it in the article, but I was thinking that's a heck of a commute.
Yeah.
You know, but so
L.A., man, L.A. I was doing my student teaching in L.A. with Coach Mitchell, and that was a 16-minute trip down 101. That wasn't that bad.
Yeah, that wasn't that bad. Lexington, Tennessee, different story. Yeah,
story.
Glad, like I said, glad I did not mention that. Clint Wright, Lawrence County first-year baseball coach, joining us here on Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe over in Chapel Hill. Clint, really appreciate you taking some time with us this afternoon, and we will have to get you back on to talk a little bit more about your C-State and your Atlanta Braves escapades.
That sounds good, guys.
We certainly wanted to do.
Yeah,
we certainly wanted to do that, and we will do that again. So,
yeah,
thanks for joining us, man.
Guys,
we appreciate it.
Guys, I appreciate what y'all do for high school sports. It's night and day different now than it was when I was in high school, and I think you guys are giving the coverage to these kids that, you know, they deserve, and y'all are a huge part of the growth of that, and I really appreciate it.
Well, we're happy to do it, man. We really are. Thank you. All right, we're going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, we've got a question, and there are questions within this question.
Yeah.
Who wins a title first? Tennessee football, the Tennessee Titans, or the Nashville Predators? The takes will be hot, I can assure you. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today is presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. We'll be back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton, JP Plant here with you on this Thursday edition of the show. Glad to have you guys. Oh, man. We'll get to that in a minute, but boy, do we have, when news comes in, news just comes in. Mm-hmm. It is what it is, but we don't have the ability to choose when the news comes. So we'll talk a little Jeff Passan tweets in a little bit. But first, I want to mention the Baltimore Orioles have won 10 straight games and are above 500 and are doing it all with a smaller payroll than Texas A&M football, says Reddit CFB.
All 5 AL East teams are at or over 500.
And yet the Yankees are struggling to beat the Reds, so we know how that feels.
There you go.
Anyway, I was scrolling through Twitter, and this was probably, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. And the question was raised, who would win a title first, Tennessee football, the Tennessee Titans, or the Nashville Predators? And I thought it's a phenomenal question. Because, obviously the Titans were the number 1 seed in the AFC last year, but it never felt like they were the number 1 seed in the AFC, I guess, if that's a good way to put it.
Well, they kind of backed into the 1 seed to some degree.
Backed into the 1 seed.
Yeah, but
I mean,
as much as you can back into it, but
it's
relative to
they weren't
relative to that
some
statement.
dominant. They weren't some dominant team that just ran roughshod over everybody. It was just kind of a weird. Oh wow, we're the 1 seed.
Things
okay,
fell
cool.
right. They won the right games at the right time. Teams lost at the right time, and they were the 1 seed.
But and then the Nashville Predators.
But it's not like nobody else was being.
No,
yeah.
They earned it.
They did. It just never felt like
it did feel that way.
This team is not, it's not dominant. But
they weren't the 27 Yankees or anything like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the Nashville Predators have been kind of on this, I guess, ever since they won the President's Cup, they've just kind of been on this even playing field. It's just, it feels like they're not getting better, they're not getting worse. They're just kind of there.
It's almost like purgatory when you're good enough to make the playoffs, but not good enough to get good draft picks.
It's the worst in the terms of draft picks.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
being the 16th team in the NHL playoffs is the absolute worst thing to be.
Oh, absolutely. It's yeah, because like you said, you're not good enough to make a run, but you're not bad enough to benefit from being bad.
Well, unless it's 2017, and that only happens once in a blue moon. That's not going to happen.
You can't plan on that.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then Tennessee football certainly seems to be on an upward trajectory. Now, it was a low bar. Don't get me wrong; they were on the basement floor, but they've certainly gotten up the stairs at least to the kitchen. So, I mean, this is a really interesting question to me, because you raised the question. Well, are we talking about? National championships or conference championships, or?
Well, I mean, obviously, when you're talking about the Titans and the Predators, you're talking about Super Bowl championships or Stanley Cup trophies.
I guess with all these, it's winning your last game.
Well, winning your last game in Tennessee's case could be a bowl.
Yeah, I was going to say, it could be the Weed Eater Bowl.
Yes.
I mean, I just need to know, are we talking about SEC championship or national championship?
I think.
Now, I'm not sure it matters.
No, because I feel like if you're the SEC champion, you have a pretty darn good shot at
a national
winning in the
title.
Natty.
Yeah, yeah.
I think this conversation a national championship. That's how
I think so too.
And that's fair.
That's how I envision it.
I just asked.
But I feel like
You never can tell with Captain Chaos over here.
But again, the SEC,
rules a little bit.
if you're winning the SEC, you're probably at least, you're
going to be one of those
the
four.
favorite. Yeah,
You're going to be
close
one of those
to the
four,
favorite.
Mm-hmm.
So where do which team has the best chance of winning a championship first?
I'll tell you my answer if you want it.
I think it's the Titans, but that's just me.
I absolutely think it's the Titans.
I think it's the Titans.
Okay, so well, that sucks.
Next topic. You want to go to that tweet now?
Segment over.
Halftime coming up next. Yeah.
But I mean, and I guess the reason being is, one, they were the 1 seed last year, and two, they get Derrick Henry back, and they've got the best defense they've had in a long time. Well, since last year. But
Okay. Here's where it gets interesting. Of the remaining two, who wins
Reds
first?
and Tennessee football.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if I was ranking them, I'd probably say the Predators, only because they seem to be making at least an effort in free agency / their moves, their transactions seem to be making an effort to push this window that they have with UC Soros.
They have less to go, less to travel.
Right.
I think
It's a shorter distance.
It's a shorter distance than what Tennessee is coming from, a longer distance of the bottom tier, if you will. They have a longer way to go up, and a lot more teams, I think, to jump over, to hurdle. You got to hurdle over Alabama and Georgia just within your own conference. The Predators, we saw as the 16th, the last team in the playoffs, get to the Stanley Cup final. So I just think there's less road to travel for the Predators.
And here's the thing: 16 teams get in the playoffs versus 4.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to be the contrarian here then, because I think right now, and it's totally hypothetical, obviously, but I think the momentum that Josh Heupel is building in Knoxville has Tennessee in a position to play for a championship quicker than the Preds. And
do they do it within the next 5 years?
I think they could.
Because I think that's
you said.
I think that's the Preds window. That's why I'm asking.
I think I agree with JP. You know, you've got to deal with Alabama, you've got to deal with Georgia, but when this program is rolling,
I was about to say,
and
you're
I
still
think
Tennessee.
they're pretty close to that.
I agree.
I think that's doable. I don't think if you've only watched Tennessee football for the last 4 years and you're looking at the TV or the radio or whatever and thinking that dude's nuts, I'm not.
No, you're still Tennessee, and if you get to a point where you're consistently going, 8-4, 9-3, you're one or two players away from being 12-0, playing for an SEC title in Atlanta.
And I'm interested to see. Now I don't know that this is the year, but I'm interested to see how Georgia follows up on a national championship.
Good point.
And not just that, but you got to think in 2 years there are no divisions. You're talking pods then. So now,
who are you playing?
It completely changes the aspect of your schedule. Does your schedule get easier or more difficult? Because you could be playing Texas and Texas A&M instead of,
Georgia and Alabama.
You don't know. I mean, that's going to change. You may not have to play Florida every year. The way it looks, you may not get to play Florida every year. There may be a difference in verbiage there, but you're right. But absolutely, you're still Tennessee. And within 5 years, I think Josh Heupel right now, the way that it's rolling, he certainly could have them in the conversation for an SEC title, which puts them in the conversation for a national title.
And Mo, being the contrarian of the two of us here, or the three of us, I thought about Tennessee because I agree with you. I think they are close. And you look at the SEC teams that have won national championships or that have played for national championships, there's quite a big variety. There's more than just Alabama and Georgia.
And I also think, and we've talked about it on this show, and Pete Weber, friend of the show, has said it, the Stanley Cup is possibly the toughest championship to win in all of professional sports.
Yeah, my my statement that it is a lesser road to travel, you could argue that is the farthest thing from the truth in this conversation because of what you just said, Mo, because of how difficult it is. I guess the point to what Chris said, 16 teams make the playoffs, and we've seen it with this team.
Oh, absolutely.
That, if you just get in, and with hockey, I think more so than any other sport, you tend to see more, quote, upsets, higher or lower seeds, however you want to look at it.
Because of the physicality, and you never know what's going to happen. I mean,
and if you get a great goalie, quote, standing on his head,
if you can get a great
ride
goalie,
you to a Stanley Cup final.
You can ride one guy, but also you have to think, in hockey, the puck bounces so wild off of skates and off of pads and off of everything in the world. Off of posts. I mean, the Predators were, a couple post shots away from being the 7 seed and not even seeing Colorado.
The football takes some crazy bounces, but only when it hits the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
Only if somebody dropped.
There's a lot more for a puck to hit.
That's right. The puck is always on the ice and always taking.
So, I mean, you're right. There are a lot of factors that come into that, but I do think I think the Titans are easily
the number one.
Yeah, the number one in this because, again, great defense. Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill with Derrick Henry is really good. Now, his weapons have, Robert Woods we'll have yet to see in a Titan uniform. Don't know when we will see him in a Titan uniform coming off the ACL. Obviously, there's some questions with some of the rookies, and you just don't know what he's going to have in the receiving core, but you still got Derrick Henry.
Cures a lot of ills.
And that cures a lot of ills. So.
Derrick Henry and a good stout defense.
That's right.
Go a long way.
Run the ball and play defense and win championships. That's how it works, baby.
There you go.
Let's take a quick break. Halftime on the other side right after this. This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee Sports Editor, 3-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama. So the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today. It's the second half. No, it's not. Is it? Are we doing halftime?
It doesn't matter.
I got a little distracted. My computer is going through the matrix over here, so I had to switch my music and caught me off guard a little bit. You want me to hit the halftime music?
I mean, I'm just surprised you can hit any music right now. I see you had to change.
Always got a backup plan, but you got to adjust a little bit.
Backups, I guess.
I'm seeing 4 of what I saw 1 earlier on my computer.
It is wild. I'm looking at it. I can see it is. It just keeps glitching.
I guess we can't get a camera on that.
This is insane.
No, let's not get a camera on it since we lost that camera earlier. in the show.
Let's just not touch that.
Yeah,
already dropped
let's just
once.
leave it right where it is.
So yesterday we ended up a little short on time before I could get to my favorite story of
Loud and
Wacky Wednesday. So if you're new here and you don't hang out with us on Wednesday in the final segment, here we go. A New Zealand law allows people to use the bathroom number 2 in public so long as they do not think they are being watched. This is
Mo, it's probably a really good thing that he prepped us yesterday.
Yeah.
Because,
Here's my question. Number 1.
Oh, really?
Everything.
No, number 2.
He don't have no dings. He don't have none. He don't have them on the
Dings aren't working right now.
We got to get the other card. Okay. Everything is legal if nobody is watching.
If you think, how you gonna prove that?
You know what I mean?
Prove you thought nobody was watching. You just lie.
Well, I mean, I certainly didn't think anybody. I mean, do you have to take a cell phone video of your 360 surroundings? Like, is that how this works? Anyway, here's the thing: New Zealand officials are saying, "Well, we got to tighten this law up because too many people are pooing in public." And now,
which probably tells you everything you need to know about New Zealand.
Well, there's that. The Responsible Campers Association argues the law should also require people to show they conducted their business at least 50 meters from a waterway and the waste is buried to at least 15 centimeters.
15 centimeters. So you got to carry a ruler now when you...
A metric ruler.
Metric.
But I guess if you're in New Zealand, that's all you have.
Yeah. Well done.
Bob Osborne, who's the spokesperson for the Responsible Campers Association, says it's not so much the action which creates concern, but the visible after effects. No kidding. You know what? I think we should enact this law here in America for pets. I'm just saying.
Hold on.
As long as you thought that you weren't seen?
No, I think they should have to be buried 15 centimeters or more. Yeah. I'm just saying. It's interesting. Like, I mean, do you just carry... if you're a camper, you obviously carry toilet paper with you. Like, that's not unusual. Or some kind of, something to clean up. But it is weird that, like, why is this even a thing?
Because it's in New Zealand?
I guess... There's a picture associated with this article with like a random
I don't want to see it.
Oh, it's just a random porta potty in the middle of the mountains. I'm like, I like this idea. Random porta potties. Way better than, in the middle of the woods.
What's the purpose of that photo for this story?
Because it's better than the alternative.
I guess.
Gotcha.
This is just wild. It's New Zealand. Go figure, man. 245,000 freedom campers last year.
Those darn Kiwis.
There you go.
There you go. All right. They got to tighten it up.
I should have just kept rolling in the second half and
Gotta go.
on with the
When
Braves.
we come back on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, it's Braves Talk. Let's do it, and let's get out of this.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Now, second half action. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Coming up, Ron Pavan, Cumberland Athletic Director, Cumberland University Athletic Director, will be joining us. Also, we've got, let's see, what else we got today? Still more college football most improved teams by conference. Okay. This is going to be interesting. I like this. We'll talk about that. And as always, every day through the Major League Baseball season, little Braves chatter as we forget about the series that was and we look ahead to the series that is upon us as the cure for any bad weekend or bad series are the Washington Nationals. And that's who the Braves have. So, welcome back in Main Street Sports Today. Once again, back over to the Two-Tone Blue here in Columbia, Mo and Chris.
That's right. Two-tone right here.
I like it.
We got plenty.
Our own Two-Tone Blue.
Yeah.
Trace Blue.
The only bad part about this Washington series is that, well, I guess on Sunday they don't have an expected starter, so it could be Mr. Finn.
I was just looking to see, and they've got
Anibal Sanchez
tonight, and then TBDs the rest of the weekend.
I don't love Ian Anderson versus Patrick Corbin, though. That certainly does not make me feel comfortable tomorrow.
So Corbin is announced for tomorrow then?
Yeah, according to ESPN.
Oh, it just depends on what Ian Anderson you get, I think.
Well, there's that. And road Ian Anderson has been much better than home Ian Anderson.
That's true.
So there's that.
And I'm thinking after the Mets managed to kind of hold this offense down for 3 games, I think they're going to score some runs, whether Fetty's on the mound or not in Washington.
Patrick Corbin has not been great. 5.7 ERA for the year.
So there you go.
So, I mean, yeah, I guess this kind of makes you feel a little better. Obviously, you know, the Nationals have not been very good. 14-33 at home.
I just expect this team to really come out a little ticked off after dropping 2 of 3 at home to the Mets.
You would certainly hope so. I mean, you would feel like, okay, this team they know going into the All-Star break, we need to leave this thing on a high note.
We need to announce our presence with authority.
Let's go to Washington. Let's, get a 4-game sweep and go into the break saying, hey, we're still here.
Yeah.
And who knows, because the Mets have to go to Wrigley, and I know that the Cubs haven't been playing well, but
they weren't playing well when we went there either.
Right. So you just never know.
Acuna, Swanson, Olson, Riley, Rosario in left batting 5th. Darno, Ozuna drops to 7th in the DH spot. Cano and MH2 behind Kyle Wright in this one in DC to open the 4-game series. So
is Robinson Cano good as a Brave? Like, he's been hitting the ball really, really hard.
And that's a great article. If you don't subscribe to The Athletic, I certainly understand because it's not cheap. But there's some really good stuff on there. And David O'Brien had a nice piece on Cano and Ron Washington a couple of days ago. Really good read.
Well,
But,
and let's talk a little bit about that story, because one of the things that I thought was so important out of that is how important the Cole Hamels deal was for what we're getting out of Max Fried. And I know we all give the Cole Hamels deal a lot of grief, and it's certainly some of it is warranted.
I think if you can find anything positive out of that Cole Hamels situation, it's a good thing. And this was.
Yeah. He was kind of Max's mentor,
Mm-hmm.
taught him how to pitch as a left-hander. And
His Mr. Miyagi, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the results we're seeing from Max Fried right now are almost directly correlated to what Cole Hamels did. Now, if we can get some of the younger guys, Michael Harris, even potentially Ronald Acuna Jr.
Well, that was where the article was specifically pointed, was just for, an up-and-coming superstar like Ronald Acuna Jr. to be able to observe a consummate professional, at the tail end of his career, obviously at 39, like Robinson Cano is, given what he's done, 8 All-Star appearances.
How much of an impact, again, much like, out of young Harris, professional hitter Nick Markakis, he had a lot to do with the rebuild of this team and the way that they went about their business. And Robinson Cano is only going to help bring that veteran style to this team.
And I think specifically, just being real about it, I think another Latin player like a Cano, perhaps Acuna, is a bit more receptive to paying attention, to watching, to listening to someone like that. And I thought it was interesting because Ron Washington holds nothing back.
No.
But he made mention that, Ronnie can be a little bit of a baby sometimes, and he's still got some growing up to do in some situations. And, for someone outside the clubhouse to say that, it would create a lot of flack. But when somebody who's got the time in the game and has the credibility in the game that Ron Washington has, when somebody like that says it, it's pretty much taken as gospel. And he's in there every day. He knows. And I'm sure he's not saying anything to us that he hadn't said to Acuna at some point. So, hopefully there will be some rub off there, and that will be a added value for Robinson Cano in whatever time he spends in Atlanta.
All right, we have. Do you still have the Nashville Sounds day in history?
I do not.
Okay. Well, we'll go to this day in Braves history.
I'll find it.
And we'll come up with that in the segment 6. But
Yeah.
We have some baseball history from the Braves and the Nashville Sounds / Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, something like that.
So, here you go.
This day in Braves history, on July 14th, 1997, Atlanta hits 2 grand slams in a game for the first time since May 2nd, 1987, using homers by Tim Spear.
Who?
Exactly. And in the 5th, and Ryan Klesko in the 6th to score 10 unanswered runs in a 10-6 victory over visiting Philadelphia. The Braves 8th straight over the Phillies. And because you said who, I'm going to tell you.
I'll tell you who.
I'm going to tell you exactly who, because that was my reaction when I saw Tim Spear. Tim Spear played 8 games for Atlanta, all in the 1997 season. 14 at bats. That was his only home run. Those were his only RBIs. He went 214 on the year. 3 for 14 in 8 games. I don't know how he got in the lineup that day, but
it must have been a Mike Ford situation.
I don't know. 8 years with the Expos, Mets, and Royals twice. Tim Spear.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk a little Cumberland football. with their athletics director, Ron Pavan, right after this. Stick around. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton, JP Plant here with you on this Thursday edition. Glad to have you. Hope you guys have had a fantastic week and are getting ready for the final plunge into the weekend. We're getting ready for SEC Media Days. We'll be live in Atlanta next week. Looking forward to it. Hope you guys will join us on that journey. Make sure to follow our social medias because it's going to be a lot of fun on social media. Our stories and posts and whatnots are going to be certainly interesting on the way. So
Looking forward to it.
yes, absolutely. Right now, though, we have a special guest joining us via video. Cumberland University Athletics Director, Ron Pavan. Ron, welcome in. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Hope you're doing well, guys. Beautiful day today. It's not 101. It's in the 90s.
We'll take it.
That's a win. That's a win
Yeah,
on
hey.
July 14th. Yeah, absolutely. Ron, what prompted us to give you a call? We saw a release from the athletics department on Tuesday. Noakes Lassiter Field set for renovations. CU Athletics to add women's lacrosse upon completion. And the determination that Chris came to upon seeing that was after going from Tommy Bryan to Christian Capozzi in your play-by-play position, you had a little extra finances kind of laying around over there that allowed you to do this.
That's a good segue, but no, man, Tommy Bryan is just a legend and still on our Hall of Fame. He's trying to do it too much, and especially his roots of Lebanon High School that's, been around forever, and he's a true Blue Devil, and he is a Phoenix, but he just can't do it all. And
I'm surprised that he's been able to do it for as long as he has, Ron. Those Friday night football games, and then going off to wherever you guys are playing on Saturdays. It made me tired just looking at him.
Oh, it is. It is.
But
well, it's great. We've been waiting for turf this will start my 15th year at Cumberland, 37th in athletics, but it goes back to Coach Hunt, in the 90s, adding football back, building the program, and all the coaches, Moore and Kutris and, Alexander and Donnie Suber and now Tim Mathis, and they've all wanted this, and we're raising money for it, but we needed to announce that this will help us so many ways. Even band competitions, the women's lacrosse, real soccer, they want to play on grass, but if it rains, we don't want to, cancel a soccer match. So this is going to help us, our visibility.
So you'll be playing football there. You'll have the opportunity to play soccer there if need be. And again, you're bringing women's lacrosse on board once this gets installed for spring of 2025.
Yeah. We want to hire a coach maybe for women's lacrosse this sometime in October, November, give them almost a year and some to recruit a team. You don't want to try to start an athletic program and say, okay, we're starting in the spring. So it just takes a little time. For football, this is helping us in recruiting, no doubt. And this is a long time coming. I'm excited about this. We've upgraded our facilities all over the place, and we continue to do it. But this is a needed thing for us. We really are excited, and we got to raise money for it. But the university is all behind it, and we continue. This tomorrow through next Wednesday, I'm going on a fundraising trip. In athletics, it's an arm race. You're always raising money for facilities to just get better, because young people like to have nice things.
It's very true.
Old people do too. But in addition to the turf field, though, there are also plans to install a Jumbotron scoreboard.
Yeah, we're going to do a video board. I think while you're tearing up the whole field, you might as well use that time, because you're not going to keep the scoreboard and the play clock. So it's just smarter to put in a video board and you're going to put play clocks in. You might as well do it all right at the first time. The coaches, we're doing an in-service day on July 25th. We've painted a lot of the buildings, but we're going to clean up and paint all the different areas at football. We've already had a company paint most of it, and then we'll put sidewalks, not the coach, but we'll hire a company and put sidewalks around. It's going to look first class. And for small college football, I mean, the fall athletes come back July 27th. And then, they start practice on August 1st, and they have our first home football game on August 27th. As in the AD world, I need 2 Mays. I need May and then May again, because I felt like that they just left.
In our world, 2 Mays would be brutal.
I don't want 2 Mays, but I wouldn't necessarily mind 2 Julys.
Yeah. Except for the
heat. 2 Julys.
Yeah, except for the heat, as Chris pointed out. Yeah. Visiting with Cumberland Athletics Director Ron Pavan here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Obviously, as you said, Ron, you got to get out and raise some money. But beyond this, what else is on your wish list maybe for your athletic department? What's next on y'all's drawing board as far as improvements and additions go?
Well, we're bringing Tim Tebow on October 8th at homecoming, and we have a Hall of Fame class coming in on the 7th, and Tim Tebow will help raise funds for us. I think he's a good role model, helps kind of aligns with us about service. We do a lot of community service. Our athletic department does about 2,000 hours of community service a year for around Wilson County. But for us, we want to put turf on the baseball field, probably not the outfield, but the infield and at softball. And eventually we'd like to have another gym, but with that, a fitness center. You know, students, we have I built with the mayor when I first came 15 years ago, a strength and conditioning building, and I have 3 strength coaches. But, you know, in this day and age, having a fitness center and another gym, I mean, when you have men's volleyball and all the sports we have, we're tight on gym space, you know. And so on the wish list is a rec center with another gym. But we have done a good job with softball and soccer, and we remodeled the gym. We had a 500K campaign that we raised about $600,000 to redo the gym, the bleachers, and then we named the court Cliff Ellis, raised money, and we have kind of upgraded every facility. And the problem is, as soon as you upgrade, you haven't upgraded. You just look at it and go, well, we got to add seats here and do things a little different.
Well, you know, at the NAI level, things are much different than what, you know, most people around who pay attention to college sports and don't really understand NAI. It is a whole different ball game, because you guys are recruiting year round. You can sign year round. You guys really don't ever get a break. And for you as an athletics director, you know, you are tasked with making sure that when these kids are on campus, they see that you are still next level from their local high school or whatever they're coming from. So, you know, how important is that for you guys, you know, to be having to do that year round? Is that more difficult?
It's a little more difficult. You know, we've been this is our 5th year with the teams averaging a 600 and some, a 3.14 GPA for 600 and some athletes. That's amazing. But all that to say is, you know, we're trying to win championships. We were 19th in the country this year in NAI and 4th in the Mid-South. But let me tell you, at halftime of us playing men's basketball, Murray State, we're tied. I mean, you know, we played Union University in men's basketball. They were, I think, maybe 12th in the country, 9-0, and it wasn't even a close game. And down in Jackson, and Tommy's my friend over there. Tommy does a good job. Union has good athletics, but I tell you, men's and women's soccer national. I mean, we won wrestling national titles this year, track. I would tell you that NAI at the highest level is just like being in a small Division I athletic program, and that's how we run it at Cumberland University. We have very nice facilities, and you know, now we don't have the budgets as some schools, but, you know, a lot of our coaches, Dwayne Alexander, Donnie, they all are at Tennessee Tech. My other soccer coaches at UTC. I have probably 3 or 4 strength coaches. One's at Kentucky, one's at Notre Dame, MTSU. Most of my the head soccer coach at Drake was the soccer coach here. And so I'm very proud of what we've done at Cumberland. And, you know, Woody Hunt is Woody Hunt. So there is a standard at Cumberland.
One of the few collegiate wrestling programs in the state of Tennessee as well. So,
yeah, I mean, we just won the national championship. We're up to 6 national champions in wrestling. And, I mean, you know, we'll wrestle UTC. That came down to the wire, right? So I think even in women's college athletics, and I don't want to overstate this, but they want to be like their teammates. They don't see, hey, I want to be at Division I. They want to fit in, participate, and feel good about where they're at a school. I think the men more are, hey, I've got to be at Division I, right? But then they don't get as much playing time, and they want to have more playing time, and that might be our fit at Cumberland.
Speaking with Ron Pavan, the athletics director at Cumberland University here on Main Street Sports today. And Ron, as you talk about recruiting there and you talk about, women are more receptive maybe to non-Division I situations. Do you see that maybe evolving on the guys' side? Do you see more male athletes kind of realizing that if somebody wants to pay you to go to school, it's probably a good idea to give it some attention?
Oh yeah, we're seeing it a lot, especially the portal. No, I used to work for the NCAA. I coached college basketball in the NCAA, but I'm not in favor of how the portal's working right now. I think you should go to your coach and talk to them. I wouldn't want to hold a young man or woman back, but right now we're seeing thousands of young men who they don't have a place, and COVID has really backed everything up. So they're dropping down the NAI and not even D2. They're just trying to find a spot, and it's really helped us. Now, man, we recruit all hard on the summer, like you brought up, and it's 24 hours, 7 days a week. But they don't have a spot. This climate of recruiting and the portal has really changed college athletics.
And we've talked to other college coaches, Ron, and kind of gotten that same feedback. How much longer do you feel like the effect of COVID with the blanket extra year of eligibility and that kind of thing is going to continue to have the impact that it's having on recruiting as a whole, particularly on high school seniors?
Well, I think it's a 1 year, but it's really 4 years because you're backed up those freshmen, right? And maybe you redshirt them. So I think we have 3 more years of this that young people are trying to figure out, man, where am I going to go? For me, as a former coach, I'd say, hey, man, we'd like you, and you could get some playing time. I'd rather play than sit on the bench for 4 years. And that's a selling point when you're getting basically a free degree and you want to play the thing that you loved and you grew up little and playing your heart out. And for us, that's a great selling point. Cumberland University is growing so fast. And in Wilson County and Lebanon, man, I mean, just Nashville, we sell Nashville and Wilson County, and it's a destination. I mean, we are so blessed to be in the state of Tennessee where we're growing, where other states, people are leaving.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the benefits of the COVID situation and how that's trickled down to you guys. And you guys are getting a lot of great athletes. And again, winning national championships at Cumberland, and that's exactly what that's the name of the game. That and educating students, and you guys do a fantastic job of that. Like you said, great GPA across your student athletes, and it only I know, right?
3.14.
You're north of 3 with your athletes, and you're doing something
That's
right.
solid.
So
yeah,
well done.
So,
Congratulations to you guys for sure.
Yeah, we check all student every Wednesday and Thursday. We check all grades in attendance. My assistant AD and I. Of all grades. I have a policy. If you miss so many classes, you miss one game, you miss 2, and then you're done. You'll never play a sport. And that, when I started that 15 years ago, it started in like, once you make an example of somebody, and then now we don't have any problems. And everybody's going to class, sitting in front of the class. You'll have some, but they figured out that you're a student and then an athlete. You don't put athlete first and mess up and that you can't get a job. All 3 of my kids went to Cumberland. They played sports. They are all good professional jobs, married, grandkids. But all that to say is my job is if I don't get them successful in life and get a good career, we feel like we failed at Cumberland, the student athlete.
Well, and at the NAI level, you really are student first.
Yeah.
Because I mean the prospect of you going to play at the next level from outside of, I guess baseball back in the Woody Hunt days and recently really had just had a pro baseball player, but it's just not going to happen very often. So it's certainly a student athletes first there. And we are happy to sing the praises of Cumberland University here on Main Street Sports today. And we appreciate you, Ron, for taking some time to do that as well. Good luck on the fundraising trail. We know how difficult that can be. So we hope that folks will open their hearts, minds, and pocketbooks for you.
Not necessarily in that order.
Thank you.
Ron, I'll see you here in a bit. In the time it takes me to get across 840, the Tennessee Sports Writers Association will hold its annual Hall of Fame induction and awards banquet here at 6 at Alumni Hall. So I'll be hustling out of here. So, again, I'll see you in a bit. But thanks for spending some time with us.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Have a blessed day.
You too. All right, when we come back, Jeff Passan tweets, Nashville Sounds history, and what college football teams will be the most improved in their conference. Coming right up on Main Street Sports Today, right after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. All right, welcome back in. Final segment of this Thursday edition as we got about 6 minutes left, so we got to get into it quick, fast, and in a hurry. Number one, Nashville Sounds history.
July 14th, 1991. Pitcher Kip Gross loses 2 games in 2 different leagues, 1,100 miles apart. The Cincinnati Reds hurler takes the loss in the Reds' 10-6 defeat by the Pittsburgh Pirates and also becomes the loser of a game played by the AAA Nashville Sounds. It is the completion of a game in Denver against the Zephyrs, which had been suspended by rain back on May 15th.
That's wild, man.
You see it more, though, than you think. I mean,
Yeah.
with suspended games and guys moving, I mean, I've heard of guys playing against themselves in suspended games and that kind of thing. So, yeah, tough day for Kip Gross.
What was the other thing we had before college football? We had three things.
Passan?
Yes.
Oh, Jeff Passan.
Yes, the Jeff Passan tweet.
Sorry,
no, that's okay.
You've got it pulled up, JP?
I do.
This was in response to
a couple of weeks. Well, what? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, when it came out that Freddie Freeman had gotten rid of his agent, Casey Close. So, if you can't read us, at Jeff Passan tweeted at about an hour ago. Agent Casey Close sued radio host Doug Gottlieb for libel Thursday, alleging in a complaint that Gottlieb defamed him and Excel Sports Management in a tweet regarding the contract negotiations of Dodgers star Freddie Freeman, according to court documents obtained by ESPN. So,
okay, but sued as in like, I don't know the verbiage on that. I mean, are you suing someone actively if you have just filed a complaint? I mean, you're active in the case, right? Or is this like done? It can't be done.
So
the complaint is part of the suit.
I understand that, but he is currently suing him.
Yes,
right? He has not sued him either successfully or unsuccessfully.
No, it doesn't say anything as to the success thereof. It's just saying he has sued him. He is suing. He has sued. He has brought action.
The paperwork has been filed.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
There we go.
Just Agent Casey Klaus sued radio host Doug Gottlieb. Well, that's it's just a weird way. Which I mean, obviously, look at all those words. It probably was the easiest way to get under.
You've only got so many characters.
Whatever. But
few characters in Twitter. That's right.
There we go.
Yeah, this is interesting. I'm certainly. I think the discovery on this will certainly bring to light at least a few things. Yeah. So I'm curious to see how it works.
And I, when this first came up, this was something that a number of people were wondering whether I mean, as irritated as Casey Close seemed to be on social media and that kind of thing. Okay, what you gonna do, bro? You just gonna let it lie? Well,
you can't, or it's an admission, right?
That's
true.
Yeah, that was kind of what I thought.
So you've got to do something. And here's the thing. Just filing paperwork doesn't necessarily mean anything either. I mean, I'm not saying that he's not going to follow through. I'm just saying that,
Well, I mean, what's next, I guess?
Sure. I mean, but, you can always drop the suit at any time, and this could just be.
But if you drop the suit, then that's just not bringing one at all, isn't it?
Well,
unless
except
court of public opinion. Yeah, I think so.
Well, it depends on how far that information goes.
I mean, what comes to light, is there a certain amount of information that, Mr. Close wants to come out, and at that point he's like, okay, I'm happy with this. I'm kind of, been vindicated a little bit.
I don't think you can drop it though. I mean, just from an appearance standpoint, because once you have filed the complaint, I think you have to let it play out. Otherwise, it's like, well, what are you hiding?
It's an admission again.
Right.
Still an admission. So
otherwise, then you kind of looked at it as crying wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Or, you just kind of.
You did this for
what?
Well, you did this trying to pull one over on us.
And then at that point, then maybe Gottlieb has some recourse.
Absolutely could.
So.
College football tomorrow.
Clearly.
I hear the music.
We know what it means.
We got to get out of here, but we did have a good Thursday. If you missed any part of the show, go back and watch it at Main Street Sports Today on Facebook, at MS_Sports Today on Twitter, or on YouTube as well. We hope to see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. It's going to be another fantastic show as we have Jeff Him and Colton Provey.
Colombian Colton Provey, the scouting director for Prep Baseball Report here in Tennessee.
All right. We'll see you then. JP and Mo, I'm Chris saying have a great day.